Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. This time we have Priyan's 7th place deck list from the Newport regional, and once again he was playing BA. So let's run through the deck list and the rounds, and then we'll bring him on for a chat about the deck itself. So we start off with 1 Snow, triple Rhino Warrior, triple Farfa, triple Skarm, double Baba, double Alec, double Libic, 1 Graph, 1 Cowcab, 1 Seer, 1 Rubik, 1 Tour Guide, triple Ash Blossom, triple Ghost Ogre, and double Ghost Reaper. Then double Desires, 1 Foolish, 1 Monster Reborn, and 1 Soul Charge to go with it. Then a double Cosmic Cyclone, double Dynamiscus, and double Chaos Trap Hole. So featuring some spicy stuff against the current format in here. For the extra deck, a bit more standard. 1 Pilgrim, then Cherry's targets with Macabre, ABC, Mega. Then we've got a Virgil, a Beatrice, a Breaksword, Levier, Equipped Engineer, triple Dante, 1 Decode, another Cherry's target in the form of Electromite, and Underclock Taker. For the side deck, 1 Gamma Seal, 1 Kumungus, and 1 Gadala. Then triple Chaos Hunter, double Vanity's Fiend, 1 Raigeki, 1 Slumber to go with the Kaiju, double Dimensional Barrier, and triple Anti-Spell. So, for the rounds that he played, round 1 he went up against Pendulum, and won that match. Cherries in game 1 pushing through Zaxel, which is pretty impressive. And then game 2 I think his opponent bricked. Round 2 played against Mech Knight Invoked and won that round. Round 3 against ABC. He won that round. Apparently Chaos Hunter and Monster Reborn are always good to see during the match. Round 4 against True Draco Metal Foes. That's a loss. Masterpiece being too much of a problem there. Round 5 against Mech Knight Invoked, that's second loss. And round 6 against Paleo won that round by basically pushing through pretty much every board that got put out. So a 40 record there. So let's bring on Priyan to chat about the deck. Hi Priyan, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing alright.
Great. Fantastic job at Newport, getting 7th place. How was the event?
Event was very, very good. It was a lot of fun having, especially in this format where like you could potentially just like face a lot of decks. But yeah, like I kind of had this feeling of like going into a matchup and fully not knowing what I was going to face.
Yeah.
That was kind of exciting. Some of my like main deck choices here are very much a sort of meta call.
Mm-hmm.
Just judging on what I faced in Cardiff Regional as well.
Yeah.
So I knew quite a few of the similar players were coming.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't be sure if they were playing exactly the same deck as they were.
Yeah. And so looking through the deck itself, with your choice of hand traps, so you went with 3 of the pretty much staple Ash Blossom and Ghost Ogre and double Ghost Reaper. So why'd you go with 2 Ghost Reaper rather than 3?
Not gonna lie, it's because I didn't have a third.
That's probably the best excuse.
Ghost Reaper was very, very good when I saw it.
Yep.
My first round was Pendulum, and I saw it in my first hand. It made the game so much easier. Like the fact that he didn't have access to Electromite just made him pass on Utopia Zeal, and that wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with the cherries in the main because all my matchups today, pretty much anyway, cherries was quite live.
Yeah.
I just wish I saw it more, and that's why I would have put a third one in for sure.
Did you ever draw it in the late game and find that it became a problem, or was it okay then anyway?
I mean, there were times where I drew it and it wasn't doing anything, but by that time I was already winning the game, so it didn't really matter.
Okay, cool. So the BA matchup, the BA lineup, itself, I think it's pretty much standard, right? Are there any unusual choices in here, do you think?
I wouldn't say like it's the most unusual lineup, but I decided to play two of to like quite a few of them. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people like to play, one Barbar and one Alec.
Mhm.
It's probably one of the most underrated Burning Abyss in the game.
Yeah.
Like the interactions with like Beatrice is really good because you can mess around with like it being potentially an effect veiler. So if during the opponent's turn they like monster reborn, if they monster reborn like a monster that has a trigger effect on summon, and I can chain Beatrice and send Alec, then Alec will end up being chain link 2 and negating that monster's effect.
Yeah.
Which is honestly really nice.
That's really cool.
2 Barbar definitely came in clutch as well.
Yeah.
Also especially because I played Desires. Having like the spare one was really, really good. And there was a point in like my ABC matchup where I basically had to draw a way of getting Barbar into grave for game, and having the second Barbar in deck was definitely really, really good.
Okay, that's cool. And yeah, so I think double Libic is the only one you haven't gone through, but I think that's fairly standard to see 2 of it, right?
Double Libic is very standard,
Yeah.
especially considering like Master Rule 4 and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you might need it to extend your like link plays and stuff. And the occasional Leviair play, which I pulled off like once.
Yeah.
Which was pretty janky, but
Cool. So other things from the main deck, you're playing the 1 Snow still? Is that still good?
I'd say it's definitely compulsory.
Okay.
Banning this, because like it extends your plays like so much, like especially like your link plays, and allows you to like extend without putting Burning Abyss on board.
Yeah.
And then it's a good target to send off Beatrice in the standby phase if you're predicting any sort of kaiju, and if you've already got like your stuff engraved.
Yeah, sure.
Just Fairy Tale Snow is like, especially because Spiral Resort isn't really a thing.
Ah, true.
So like you can target stuff again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think a lot of the deck gets helped out by the fact that you can now target stuff as well, things like Farfa and...
yes, indeed. Like Farfa, obviously being the 3-off, being the probably one of the best cards, best like interruption.
Yeah.
Out of like all the Burning Abyss cards.
Yeah.
Definitely glad I ran 3 of those. Not gonna lie.
So in the spell lineup, you went with, I think, like Double Desires is fairly standard.
Yeah, like two Desires I thought was fine in a 40 card deck, because I mean in testing I did keep, when I put in 3 I kept seeing like multiples and it's never good. But like at the same time you could sort of counter argument that you need to see Desires. And the thing is with this deck you have to be very careful, obviously, because like if you banish your Seer, you're in a really bad position. You don't necessarily like lose the game,
Yeah.
but like you're in a very bad position unless the 2 cards you get off it are like completely like supplement your board.
Yeah.
I think there's actually a sort of mistake on here, because I think except I played Soul Charge instead of Judgment.
Okay. I'll just fix that.
But like Soul Charge I don't think was very good.
Okay.
I kind of regret maining that, because it didn't do enough, considering Master Rule 4 kind of very much limits what kind of boards this deck could do.
Yeah.
And like the one time I saw it was against like Mech Knight Invoked, and I was like, the only thing I could do was like extend it to decode Beatrice, and I didn't really want to give him another zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt that Soul Charge isn't necessarily a good idea in this deck, unless you're in game 2 and you're like Soul Charging out Chaos Hunter.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the better plays you could do.
Okay.
But I only really saw it one time, and it wasn't really that great.
Yeah. Would you change Soul Charge for Judgment then in the future?
Perhaps, or because my logic behind Soul Charge was that it could be like some sort of extender.
Yeah.
And maybe the one card that could replace Soul Charge would be some sort of like extender. Say, it could be another Malebranche, it could be another Rubik, honestly.
Yeah.
Another Rubik or another Burning Abyss name.
Okay.
Although I felt like the deck was consistent enough anyway, I was definitely seeing two different BAs in hand, or a BA and a Rhino Warrior. I could definitely make a play.
Yeah.
But like, maybe I definitely wouldn't like put anything like Raigeki in the main or whatever.
Sure.
I think, yeah, some sort of extender,
Okay.
really.
And last thing from the main to talk about, you played 2 Chaos Trap Hole.
Yes.
How was that?
That was very much a meta call. Definitely very useful. It was probably one of the best cards of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Especially against a lot of the decks this deck kind of struggles with. So like,
Yeah.
Pendulum, it can stop like a lot of their Pendulum summons, and stops like ABC, because once the ABC get Dragon Buster out, it's just so difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
Particularly for this deck. If I saw this card against like Masterpiece,
Mm-hmm.
against like Alistair, it has like a lot of applications. Like the only deck that this card wasn't relevant against today was actually Paleo.
Okay.
Which I really wasn't expecting to see.
Yeah.
But against like a lot of the decks that are doing really well right now, Chaos Trap Hole, well-timed Chaos Trap Hole completely just
steals the game.
Basically just pass turn.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It seems really solid to be able to play that as well.
Definitely. I don't regret playing it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. They're very good all day.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we need to mention about the main for now. For the extra deck, obviously you've got the Cherries targets with the ABC, the Macabre. Apart from that, it's sort of very similar to the list you sent last time. Is there anything that you want to mention about the extra deck, or is it all pretty solid?
I mean, the extra deck's pretty standard. Like, I mean, again, I think I mentioned last time that I definitely don't regret playing 3 Dante.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times that I needed the 3rd Dante, or needed like the extra sort of security that I had the 3rd Dante,
mm-hmm.
was definitely very good. Out of the things that I cherished, I only really cherished Electromite all day. But if I saw that against my ABC matchup or my Invoked matchup, that might have made my matchup a lot easier.
Yeah.
Out of the cards that I didn't make, I don't think I brought out Pilgrim.
Okay.
Because like I don't think anyone bothered destroying Beatrice.
Yeah.
Except like one guy, and then I think I kind of made a small misplay and brought out Virgil instead.
Oh, okay.
But I think I didn't make Equipped all day either.
Mm-hmm.
I think Equipped is very useful because like it can act as a pseudo Beatrice if you have like a Farfar or a Rhino under it.
Yeah.
Or it outright protects your like boss monsters, or your boss monsters, or your like floodgate monsters.
Yeah.
So like my Chaos Hunter or Vanity's Fiend, if I manage to get it out before something Vanity's Fiend for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't regret playing. Well, I didn't ever make it, but theoretically it was very good.
Yeah.
I think the rest of the monsters I did make at least twice.
Okay.
All day.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, they all have their own uses, and I think if you have the option to make Equipped at some point, then you're gonna want to play it.
Definitely, yeah. The other monster I considered putting in the extra deck was DDD Stone King Darius, because this deck has a massive problem with monsters like Borreload Dragon, which Darius just straight up runs over, and also I main Dynamiscus, which was also a really good card all day, which also like outs Borreload.
It's some very nice generic removal to have Dynamiscus in the deck.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Like I was expecting to see a lot more Pendulum, and having that in the main just was really solid. Just being able to like banish any like face up card. And then potentially like discarding a Farfa and then banishing another monster. Just like there's so much removal.
Cool. So moving into the side deck, you've got the Kaiju engine. I think this is like fairly self-explanatory because sometimes there are decks with monsters that you just can't deal with, so you have to drop something on them.
I'm pretty annoyed I never saw this. I don't think I saw my Kaijus all day, honestly. I'm pretty surprised by that. But like, it would have been good to see them versus like True Draco Metalflow if I actually went into a game 3. Like Masterpiece, this deck just literally auto loses to Masterpiece. Like if you can't out it, you basically lose. But like the Kaiju lineup is fine because you got the 2 small Kaijus that can be run over by like Dante. And then you got the slightly bigger one which you can suicide Beatrice into and Sun Pilgrim, and then Pilgrim runs over that.
For the rest of the side, Chaos Hunter, I assume this is just for, so you can bring it in for Lightsworn, you could bring it in for, well, I guess like pretty much anything where you expect Trickstar sort of thing as well.
A lot of decks have reliance on banishing. I did find. So like, I was expecting to see a lot of Mech Knight invoked because after Bockham, I think it saw like a little bit of traction. And especially against like ABC, it was so good. Like, Chaos Hunter discarding like Farfa or even discarding Alec was like a lot of disruption. Like ABC very much struggled to play against Chaos Hunter, as I found in my match with my match with Tom. It was quite a stressful game, that, but
it can be difficult to get out anything that beats over 25 before making an ABC, especially like if you're going in first turn, then
like if I see like a play being made, say like a Destrudo play, then I sort of drop Chaos Hunter and make sure I've got access to a Farfa. So like to say take away Destrudo from field. Because like when Destrudo is removed, it goes to the bottom of the deck, no matter how it's removed. So like even Farfering it just permanently puts it on the bottom of the deck. Which is honestly like really good. Definitely, I think the best side card of the day. But like Anti-Spell is very obviously a very strong card, and the amount of people who flip it against Burning Abyss and expect it to do something is actually quite funny. But like like Anti-Spell is good. I didn't see it against Pendulum. I saw it a lot against like Invoked, and it did massively slow them down because they always draw like Terraforming. They always draw Terraforming, which really sort of puts them back because they have to set Terraforming, activate Terraforming, set the field spell, and then activate the field spell. But by the time that's happened, they've probably already like either lost or in a really bad position.
And then, even if they hadn't lost at that point, they'd still have to wait another turn after they get Alistair through just to set the invocation as well.
they have to set invocation as well. It's, and then at that point it's kind of obvious. So like if I've drawn like Cosmic Cyclone at that point, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just hit that. It's like, Yeah, anti-spell is very good. Raigeki was a card that I never saw all day.
Yep.
And I kind of wish I did, because there was a bunch of times where there was a masterpiece like summoned with like monsters and traps.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is annoying because
because no outs in the deck.
yeah, there's Raigeki and like Kaiju's are like my one out.
Yeah.
And then there was like then he summoned it against me like going second. He was going second, and I was like, well, I mean, I haven't put any of these cards in my deck because
I went first.
I was
Yeah.
hoping to lock him out with anti-spell.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what I have to say on the side deck.
Yeah. Cool. Are there any other comments you want to make on the deck itself?
I think like the build was fine, like compared to last time, because I managed to cut it down to 40.
Yep.
Because last time I played Auto Hydralander.
Yep.
And while the card was good, it was more bricks and sort of very much a win more card at times. There would be obviously like really odd times where I wouldn't be able to summon it. Particularly like turn one. Turn one was just turn one. The card is like very much irrelevant. But like it's so I decided to cut like Hydralander, obviously like Fled Desires and stuff. And it I think the deck did very well, all things considering. I think like my matchups, I lost to Mech Knight Invoked, and I lost to True Draco Metalfoes.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, like True Draco Metalfoes was not something I was expecting. And like, I mean, the deck, like I said, the deck auto loses to Masterpiece, which he got up very consistently. And I mean, the True Draco, the Mech Knight Invoke dude, he just drew the nuts.
Yeah.
Another card I'd like to talk about was Rhino Warrior, because I think in my previous list I put 2 of it in, and like in this list I put 3.
Yep.
So I was quite worried about like the number of like normal summons in the deck, but then and also like bricking Rhino Warriors is like one of my like greatest fears. But putting it to 3 I definitely don't regret it, because like milling it off Dante is very good.
Yep.
Just having like the extra floater, extra card to discard of Dynamiscus if needed, or Chaos Hunter or Game 2, like it's just really, really good.
Yeah.
Definitely don't regret that.
Cool. Great. Are there any shout-outs you want to make?
Yes, there are a bunch. I definitely like to shout out Khan, because he basically ran the entire event by himself.
Yeah.
Which I completely applaud him for that. He worked so hard to make Newport Regionals happen. He also let me Ash Blossoms, because I'm a poor student boy. I'd like to also shout out Tom Rose, because he was very nice, and he let me borrow his Electromite so I could cherry people.
Yeah.
Shout outs to I think his name is Pietro.
Okay.
They're like I played stuff like Dynamiscus before, like back before like Master of War.
Yeah.
And like also like shout outs to, you know, Newport Firestorm for running the event, and all my other mates for like giving me advice on the deck. It's definitely a really good day.
Cool. Yeah. Great. Well, fantastic job at the regional. And
Thanks.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you again if you get out and get some more top decks in for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's the next regional you're heading to then?
Oh, next regional. I don't know at this point. If there's any nearby, I'll I'd be sure to like drop by. But
cool. Yeah.
currently it's currently like I've got my qualification for Euros, so I'm kind of like hoping that will go well.
Yeah.
I haven't had a good Euros record so far, so
I mean, turn up with BA and surprise everyone, and I think you'll do great.
oh yeah, that is my intention, and I hope Cherubini comes out by then, because that would be absolutely amazing.
That would be insane. But the thing is, then, if that happens, won't it pick up popularity, and suddenly there'll be all these other BA players?
Then that gives me more motivation to get a third cherry.
That's true. Alright, great. Thanks for coming on. Fantastic job, and I'm sure we'll see you again in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for watching this episode of Top Deck. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, leave them in the comment section down below. Check out the description for details of how you can get involved in this series. You can enter by voice interview, or instead you could just send all of your information over Facebook Messenger. Anything like that will be absolutely fine. If you want to see anything in particular from the upcoming series, then be sure to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.